Right now, as we speak, crypto market is trying to push higher. We can see that Bitcoin came to the moving average. There's a daily chart, 50-day moving average has been tested, and the price is bouncing off from that. We can expect that it is going to act as a resistance here by the 21-day moving average. That would be one of the resistance to look forward to. So that would be kind of $29,000. And as we look at the charts, say this is something we posted a couple of days back, and the argument is valid right now because that's what we are looking at. We are bouncing, and as we bounce off, we actually get an idea. Okay, we had the first level which we broke, good thing. Then the second level is just about $29,000. So Bitcoin does have some room to go higher. Now we are observing that, okay, this is what Xrpl is doing. We have a trend line. Historically, that trend line has been a support, and right now we have not yet reached that trend line. So we want to understand the fact that, okay, where Xrpl is actually headed towards. Because if we observe the fact that, okay, the market is suggesting that this correction is over, that is great. That means the next leg to the upside on the macro structure is about to start, because this is not only the technical side of things, it will also be fundamentals. Now, why would I say that? When we look at the fundamental side of things, this is really interesting. While they all talk about the opportunities about the crypto landscape, you get different topics being discussed there. And while they discuss through that, you actually see people from the company Xrpl entering into that arena. You actually see them talking about new plumbing in the capital market, and it is about wholesale central bank digital currency. So it is really important to understand the fact that these big guys are there trying to discuss about changing or upgrading the existing infrastructure. Infrastructure of what? Finance. That's Cbdcs coming out. And they actually talk about providing something to connect Cbdcs as a viable payment source, right, for cross-border payments. And you actually get James from Xrpl. So you actually get to see like, okay, there is a lot happening right now in this one. When you actually focus on this is about to happen earlier next month, and it kind of gives you a detailed representation of what they are thinking about. It's not just something really small. It is about all these big guys from all these big organizations, including these supranational organizations, joining out there to give their thought process. And I think this is something big, because we right now see different companies entering into different phases. Say, here they actually start by saying, okay, the World Economic Forum believes that it is about tokenization. It is about new infrastructure. It is about increased liquidity, efficiency in the financial markets. And as they go forward, they kind of give us a clear narrative. They are talking about something here. That's Xrpl ledger, right? That's actually perfect. Then you go forward, you actually see like what they are intending to do. It's about real estate side of it. You actually see crypto liquidity. You actually see crypto as collateral. So there is a lot of potential here. And now there's a big document, so we're not jumping through everything. We are looking at the key portions which we need to see. Now, some of these does show you that they are looking at this because of what the technology can do. So additionally, Xrpl ledger's fast transaction and low fees make it well suited for them as a company to use this technology. And they are here adopting that. So one by one, you are getting adoption, and the price action is suggesting, okay, we are about to slowly grind higher. And one of the things which we have repeatedly highlighted here in this channel is that always look for the macro. Yes, you will see short-term volatility. Yes, you will see short-term correction. But when that happens, if you actually ask me like, okay, is there an opportunity? Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. Yes, I would say that there is an opportunity. This 10% run, if you are looking to go for that arbitrage, it is an opportunity. But most of the exchanges have at least 2% or 3% spread. So if you are buying here and then selling here, you're already losing that 6%, which is not that efficient thing to do unless you're going super leveraged, and that can be risky. Right? We really don't know whether the price is going to get rejected at this level of the resistance or it will reach 29 and get rejected. So there is always that volatility which exists in the market, which is going to make things bad. Now, earlier when XRP was still at the support, we actually talked about this possibility, right? We are about to see this price go up, and I was giving you the clear thought process, what I think. I can be wrong, but I was sharing this. I think short-term positive moves may come in the market. And, my thought process was basically because of the divergence and what we observed in the price action, the short term. And I was saying like, okay, don't go leverage. This can be risky. Now, we'll actually look through the market in next 3-4 days and we'll understand like what is really happening. But as far as we have seen this, we have gone through this, we understand the fact that, okay, there is still something like this, which still is healthy for the market. And it will be really good for us to observe that this bounce off from here with that ABC instead of coming back down to the D leg here, which can be painful. But overall, the opportunity still exists in the market. So now, if we actually jump on to the technical side of it, we'll actually look at XRP on the 3-day and we'll say like, okay, we are bouncing up. But for us to turn bullish right now, we need to see the price breaking through this range. It is going to be hard, right? Because when you actually go look at the same time horizon, if it's me, I would actually go and say like, okay, this range which we are observing, it is going to act as a resistance. So when the price is going to come back up, I would actually say, okay, there is a big possibility that this can actually come higher. There is a huge possibility that this can actually do something like, okay, it is bouncing higher, testing this leg. But what we really have to keep in mind is, okay, this is a level of resistance in the short term. So we'll have to go back onto the macro chart and ask ourselves like, okay, what are we really looking at? Because if you understand the narrative which is in the market, like you actually did 1, 2, 3, and after that, you kind of corrected deeply, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if the same correction is coming back into the market, that is a little bit different. But when you go on the weekly chart, the macro scenario, you also understand that, okay, there is still a possibility that this can remain as a support. But don't forget that market does these kind of long wicks. So even if you get a candle close by 24,000, you may still see a long wick coming back down to maybe 22,000, maybe 21,000, and still being bullish. Because one of the reasons why I say bullish is that when you look at this market on the macro, you cannot deny the fact that we are observing something like this. Say when you are going in, zooming in, you do see a lot of volatility, right? But what I would actually say is like, yeah, that's true, but let's actually look at the RSI and smoothen that a little bit, right? So here, what we are watching for Bitcoin right now is that yes, the price is moving up, but on a weekly, the RSI is coming back to test the moving average. So that is one of the reasons why I'm like, okay, let's not go hyping, saying, okay, this is about to blow through. Yes, we saw this level of support turned into a resistance, then that broke higher. This level after that was a resistance that turned into a support. That is bullish. I'm not denying that fact, but what I'm saying is the possibility of this resistance turning into a support, which means RSI can come to 58. Now it's at 62, 63 level for Bitcoin on a weekly. Now we go back in different scenarios, right? When you are on the monthly chart, we do understand the fact that, okay, this is actually bouncing back up. This is bouncing really hard. So if you actually take the same scenario and look at the macro picture for XRP to understand like, okay, where do the RSI point us towards? So this is a support which turned into a resistance zone, and now most likely we are going to come there and bounce. That cannot be denied. So that's the weekly chart. Now the question is, okay, if that's the weekly scenario, what are we really looking at in the short-term duration right now? What do you think the market is doing? And I'm here looking at myself and I'm saying, okay, I do think the price is actually moving up, but I strongly believe that this pattern, unless this is broken, it's still valid. So you have a resistance by this range where most likely the price is about to get rejected. Now, that is in RSI. Let's take that into the price action and ask ourselves like, okay, if that's the picture we are looking at in the price action, then where can we go? So the first level is going to be the support zone here, which will be acting as a resistance. For Xrpl, that's around 0.499, say 0.5. Great. Next leg is going to be the resistance here. That is like 0.53. So to really get a new clarity saying, okay, the correction is completely done and we are going up, we want to actually see an invalidation of this ABC structure. Now, it does look like we are completing that structure on the short-term horizon. But remember, on the daily, we still need to get the confirmation by going above 0.5. So if we go above 0.5 in this bounce, I do believe that there is a huge possibility for Xrpl to outperform the market. Xrpl to pull the market to the upside, because that is going to be the case. In my opinion, I think we are going towards $0.7 per Xrpl as a leg up. Now, if that's true, now we have to look like, okay, if that's happening, we want to actually look at the support resistance here. And that would give us the idea, okay, we are going up, we're still coming back down, right? And that corrective action can be close to 0.5, 0.55. That can still come back down to that range. So now that's on a daily chart. We need to actually go into a weekly chart and argue the same point. Now you can actually debate, right? Because everyone will have a different thought process here. Right now, on the price action side of things, we'll actually have to say like, okay, we just got an engulfing candle to the downside. So how can you just go bullish here? And that is still heavily valid. But we also understand the fact that last time we got something way bigger than that. We bounced and we came back to retest that level and kind of, put a new low, not a massive lower low, but just a wick to the downside. That is still possible. So if you have orders set at 0.42, 0.43, I think, you still have an opportunity, right? That's still something to look for. Now, I can be wrong, completely wrong, but what we are observing right now is that as we've been talking, the market is acting like that. While Bitcoin was like 27,300, we had a thought process, okay, we are going to go higher. And that's what we observed in the market. We are right now observing that fact that market is responding. And we also observe that some of these assets, like for example, Engine. If you're actually looking at Engine protocol, yeah, it is a financial side of things. You can invest, all those stuff in macro. It is great. And then you go on to a macro chart looking at this. For me, I think this is following Bitcoin for like almost everything. And if that is the case, I'm asking myself like, okay, I'm literally observing that the price is putting in a higher high, whereas the RSI is putting in a double top structure. I would be concerned, right? Now, the only positive scenario which this can be or turn to be is like, okay, that's a rounded bottom. If that happens, that is great. That is bullish. But let's go back in history and look at this asset in the terms of RSI. That has been a level of resistance for a long period of time. So I would say like, okay, I wouldn't bet on it right now because right now you're having a massive divergence, which is on a 3-day chart. And I'm still observing the fact that, okay, we put in a higher high, but we are still at this point. If we bounce back down, there is a huge possibility we may continue to the downside. But let's actually look at this in a different way. Say here on a daily, we do observe the fact that, okay, there is a big possibility that we will correct back down. And if we do correct back down, which I think is going to be the most likely scenario, we may actually see the price dropping maybe 50% from where we are right now. And that would still be bullish. So if you are a long-term investor in such a high technology, believing that this is about to go higher, this is something you can actually look forward to. Maybe in a week, maybe in 10 days, maybe in a month. We don't know. But yes, time will prove us whether we are right or wrong. And also understand the fact that the market may not actually directly give you a ABC leg like this, because in Bitcoin, we have seen this. In a lot of different assets, we have actually observed the fact that the B leg goes above the original level and then come back down, right? So if this is following Bitcoin, as I started saying, that is still a possibility. You may even think like, okay, that's $10. It's like a new local high. We are about to pop off and then the price slows down. That is a possibility. So watch the market. Look at how the volume is behaving. Look at how things are moving. This is really important because you're still way far away from your moving average on a 3-day chart, not on a short-term level, on a macro level. So right now, I would actually put that perspective, okay, we may actually get a bounce, but wait for a confirmation. Now, say, in the similar sense, we'll actually go look at another asset, say RNDR, another great project, right? While you look at these, you need to understand the fact that there is a lot of possibilities in this market. If history is playing out, this is something we are looking at, and it's not just happening in an asset or two. Right now, the market is literally showing you, me, and everyone that it is showing something similar. If that happened in the past, and this was the result, I wouldn't deny that opportunity. I would stay there and ask myself, okay, if that opportunity is there in the market right now, should I participate? And that's where you should actually be, right? You should be thinking, you should be asking that question to yourself. Say, if this guy is right, then you're going to observe a pattern, a rounded bottom structure breaking to the upside on a macro chart. Let it be a 3-day chart, let it be a weekly chart. It's completely up to you. So while you see the market doing the first leg up like this, next leg is going to be the massive leg up. You actually see this in an asset again and again and again. So this asset showed you the possibility that it can actually do that again and again and again, right? It actually have showed you that one leg up, you go bounce, boom. So that still is going to be a huge opportunity. Now, we'll look back at all these assets, maybe in 6 months' time, maybe in a year. But understand, when this pop-up starts, it does not actually wait for a lot of people. It's just 30 days. So you're like, okay, the crypto market is boring, I'm moving out, I'm running. In 30 days' time, the market can actually run pretty crazy. Maybe a 5x, maybe a 10x. Who knows what the market is about to do? But interesting fact is that assets are showing they are getting money, which means people are entering into these assets believing they are about to outperform the market. And we've been following this from some time, but I would put this argument again, saying that yes, we are observing this structure. We are observing the moving average cross to the upside. And if you get an opportunity at 0.42, I think that is going to be a golden opportunity as far as XRP is considered. Now, it can be a lot of different assets like XLM, HBAR, Quant. You can have a lot of different assets in your portfolio, right? And that's one of the reasons why we actually go through a lot of these assets and give you the right perspective at the right time. Because if you knew, okay, this is about to happen from 27,000, Bitcoin is about to run higher, you're looking for higher highs, and it's already $1,000 up, right? You get opportunities. So if you are interested in things like that, you can look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. Now, while we jump back, looking at the market in general, understand the fact that there is a lot of highly correlated assets showing you the exact same structure. So you actually can take benefit of this. Now, this is actually XLM, which is a competitor for XRP, and I've shared this chart before with the group, right? So those who were buying this asset at support, I think, okay, they got a great opportunity to buy, and I think this still is valid, right? Now, this is a short-term structure, wave structure to the upside, and you're going to get massive, bigger wave structure as you go, because this is the third wave of this microstructure. So this nanostructure ending there is still a possibility, a giant possibility, I agree, but you are now looking at macro. So you're like, okay, that is just the beginning of something. And that's where you are going. So in 3 months' time, in 6 months' time, if you feel like the market did something which I wanted to get and I was not prepared and I didn't understand, that is going to be a regrettable decision. So you have to decide right now, from today, if you are willing to take time to learn and improve your skills about investing, trading, whatever you would like to do. Look at the mirror and ask yourself, what's your target? If you're targeting like, okay, I want to buy this asset, this level, say I want to buy this asset, $500 every month, $1,000 every month, it's okay. That's how people get started. So here, what we are watching is an opportunity. If you bounce here, retest this level, get rejected, come back down to this level, that's a massive opportunity, right? You go in macro charts and you observe whether the RSI is at a support or a resistance. If you think that's a support being tested and it's bouncing off, that's an opportunity which you really have to consider. Thinking like, okay, should I go in? Should I go out? That's completely up to you. But understand the fact that the market does these things. Last time when you were about to cross this 21-day moving average to the 50-day moving average, XLM was here. You were just below this moving average. That was a massive opportunity, I would say. Now that's actually the history, the price, the fact. So if you actually measure that out, that was a 10x after that. That was an opportunity. So guys, if you received value, please do hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done that already. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.